Hi guys, wanted to really ask, 2022 has been a tremendous year. It's been a challenging year. It's been a year full of opportunities as well, I would say. What was your biggest though challenges as a PVcase company? Business challenges and personal challenges. So maybe we can start from Doug, if you want to say.
Sure, I think in terms of personally, you're right, the year was definitely challenging. Being here in Lithuania with the situation in Ukraine being not exactly on our border, but close enough. The beginning part of the year certainly had some challenges, both as a business and as a father. Certainly not being Lithuanian, not being from the region, certainly didn't need to stay here, didn't need to be here. But the team being here, growing here, really wanting to continue to see the business growing. Really trying to be motivating for the entire company and the entire team, but at the same time doing the right thing for the family. I think that was really a big challenge for this year. But I think it was pretty quick that we saw that any of the concerns were going to be pretty remote from Lithuania itself, and coming to that conclusion and that realization, and then trying to really get back to refocusing the team, keeping the team focused on what the prize is at the end of the year, keeping our eye on the target. Certainly also readjusting the expectations during the year, and how do you build that messaging across to the team? That's also another important thing to kind of say, there was that period in the year where, things kind of really slowed down significantly, and that has an impact on where you are at the end of the year in terms of whether you're going to hit the year-end target or not hit the year-end target, and being understanding of what that impact ultimately is for not just yourself, not just for the company, but then now with 128 people on the team, and how that's going to impact them and their families, etc. So I think that would be the biggest challenge that I currently saw for this past year.
Great. Did you get to add in your perspective?
I totally agree. I think the additional one is that we never foresee that macro challenges will be such a big ones. I think in the 2020, 2021 with COVID, it was uncontrollable, and we thought that maybe 2022 will be more settled, but it wasn't. So it was challenging for us all to go through with the team, also to motivate them that it's not the end of the world. Of course, so many things happening, but then supply chain issues happen. There's so many things that you cannot control. That was the biggest challenge, because before that, it's like on your own, kind of. So I think that was the biggest one.
Okay, cool. Thanks really for sharing this. The next question is, is a bit more positive. So let's we kind of went through this rough patch, and we passed through 2022. Now we're a few weeks away from 2023. What's your targets for that? Do you have some sort of a plan for that? Do you have your personal ambitions, your business ambitions, anything you want to share?
So I think in terms of our official internal company targets, I don't know that we'll necessarily get into sharing that. I think there's a few VCs that would love to have the answers to those questions. But I think internally, we're looking for growth to be better next year than it was this year. Certainly with the tailwinds that we have in our industry, and I think in the Lithuanian ecosystem, there's not many people understand what PVcase does and what PVcase is, and take maybe a second here to kind of give a quick intro on that. But what PVcase's software does is it really helps to design very large solar installations that are used to power entire cities, essentially, right? So as you're looking at this push from coal-operated plants and nuclear-powered plants, and certainly right now with the energy independence issue coming from the supply out of Ukraine and out of Russia and everything else, we are really proud to see a lot of the countries that are along the border starting to purchase licenses of our software and be able to use PVcase to help push forward this energy independence within each and every individual country. So I think in terms of our targets, it's great that we hit a revenue target, but I think we currently have companies in 80 countries using our product. And it's really just very satisfying knowing how much of the future energy capacity that's coming online over the next 5 years will be coming from plants designed with PVcase.
Fantastic.
I think we tried to do this last year with the leadership team. We'll try again this year about work and life balance. I think that was out of control for the past couple of years. Now we are looking more with the team also to see our health, more benefits to that, spending more time with family. I think that's becoming quite important part of the journey.
Fantastic! I couldn't agree more. I think once companies go through the different stages, there's like a rapid growth, and then sometimes you just focus on that. And what you really let go of is how is the whole team doing during that growth. Fantastic. The third question is quite a little bit more of a wrapping up the both of these two. Is there any lessons that you learned throughout these years? And what do you think you're gonna do differently?
Do differently. Well, I know personally for myself, we've hired some people to work under me, and I am going to delegate way more work for the future than I have been holding close to my chest in the past. We've always hired great people that we can trust, but I feel like during this next stage of growth, as we kind of go from 100 plus people now to hopefully 250, 300 people, it's impossible. It's just physically impossible to kind of keep close ties on everything, and we've really got a great team hired now that we can trust to be able to own that next leg of growth up.
I think we'll continue. For the past 4 years we've been focusing on team culture, growing more like organically, taking care of the operational part, growing in the sustainable way. I think we'll continue doing that, and that was the success of 2020 too.
I think you very guys humbly said like a number. You went like, oh, we have like 130 employees now. I was like, okay, that's not just a little, like it's a big thing going on. So from your perspective, for the ecosystem, what would you pass on as a message? What's your greetings to the ecosystem? What's your advice to the ecosystem? Yeah, or a message?
Focus on the people.
Right.
Focus on the people. I mean, at the end of the day, my background is in finance. I'm in a solar company, right? And everything that we do is ultimately based on how the team performs. And it has nothing to do with where they came from or what background they might ultimately have. If you find the right people that really look like they're going to mesh well with the team, anything is possible, right? And so you can pivot. Companies have to do that all the time. You may not have hired somebody for that particular purpose, but if they're the right fit for the team, if they get along very well, everything is possible.
Absolutely, that's fantastic advice.
And probably it changed the mindset that we learned in last year, that focus on business first and the money will come. I think that's the main point.
Great. Guys, really, really glad to have you here today. It's the first time I actually got to speak to you. I'm hats off. I can actually give you one award this year. I don't know if you won any, but you're the most stylish startup so far here now, guys. So, well done to that. Really nice to meet you.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to speaking to you in the next events that we can see and see how, fascinatingly we'll grow and where the PV case is going to end up in 2023.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, you're awesome, guys. Yeah.